So Google just came out and said one of the hottest search terms, one of the most searched terms on the entire Google platform is, when is the housing market going to crash? You see, the American people still believe that there is going to be this massive Armageddon, this massive housing market crash in 2021, and CNBC covered the story. This all just came out yesterday. So let me show you what's going on here. So when is the housing market going to crash, which is the red hot search on Google, okay? So check this out. Google reported that they had a spike over the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, that this search term, when is the housing market going to crash, has spiked 2,450% in the last month, because homeowners are that concerned, or they believe that this housing market in 2021 is absolutely going to crash. I've made other videos on my channel about my housing market predictions and whether or not we're heading toward a housing market crash in 2021. So here's what the report said. And I'll kind of just break down the highlights for you. So it says that, the housing market has been, extremely hot for the past year, and there's an increasing concern amongst consumers that housing is experiencing a price bubble, and that bubble may be ready to burst. This is what the homeowners believe to be true. So Google reported last week that the search question, when is the housing market going to crash, has spiked 2,450% in the last month. Why is the market so hot? So searches has doubled in just the past week. And this is why I'm trying to keep you guys updated on the housing market, so you know the facts, whether you're a consumer or a real estate agent, or maybe you're a mortgage loan officer and you need to explain to your clients what's happening in the marketplace. This is going to be another video that's going to help you guys with that. So if we look at this, there's a couple of chief economists from a couple different companies that CNBC had in their report. So let's take a look at this. So this is pretty interesting. Another huge search term on Google has popped up, which I think you guys will really get a kick out of, which is how much over asking price should I offer on a home in 2021? That Google search has also jumped 350% the same week. So this is why there's a lot of people that believe that we're in a housing bubble, that we're headed towards a housing crash. So there are various measures of home prices, but one of the most timely and watched is CoreLogic. Now, CNBC had their chief economist from CoreLogic say a couple things that are very, very interesting. So CoreLogic reported that prices in February were up 10.4%, which is the largest jump we've seen since 2006, which was arguably the height of the real estate market. In some markets, values are there probably even higher. So this is what happened in February. So this is what Frank Nothaft, the chief economist of CoreLogic, said. He said, "We've got an acute shortage of supply in the market for sale at the same time that record mortgage rates are driving the appetite to buy by millennials and Gen Xers." So he's exactly right. I mean, we have, what's been happening in this crazy seller's market, lowest interest rates in the history, in history, lowest interest rates we've ever seen. And then we've had such a shortage of inventory that homes are selling so fast. So you got super, super, super high demand because interest rates are so low. And then you have our supply that's also at a historic low, making this property values, making buying a home right now and prices soaring through the roof. So here's what the report went on to say. So they said there's about half as many homes actively listed for sale compared to this time last year, according to Realtor.com. So this has caused competition to ignite to the point where buyers are more likely to find themselves in bidding wars, which we already know. So the Google question about overpaying doesn't sit well with no theft. So here's what he said. I have to admit, I'm worried when I hear that. It does make me concerned, he said. That's the mindset that comes in because that means it's an auction market. So at the start of this month, 42% of homes were selling for more than their list price. Then this was a report by Redfin. So that's crazy. Almost 50% of the homes for sale are selling for more than their asking price. This is just more evidence that we are in a market where demand is at an all-time high because of low interest rates, and the supply is at an all-time low, which is causing all of this to happen. So the question is, and I think what the people want to know is, okay, great, I understand where we're at. Does that mean that property values are going to bust, that we're in a housing bubble, that values all of a sudden are going to plummet because of potential foreclosures due to unemployment and everything that's happening with the pandemic? Well, let's see what the report says. So the housing market is more competitive than we've ever seen, but a couple of indicators are causing us to ask whether we're nearing a peak in terms of how fast demand and prices can grow. So this was from Daryl Fairweather. This is Redfin's chief economist. So he said sellers' asking prices may be starting to flatten in what we've seen so far that appears following the typical seasonal pattern. Okay, so check this out. Fairweather sees the decline in mortgage purchase applications as a sign that some people are dropping out of the market because there's a lack of affordable homes for sale. Now, this is really interesting. We own a mortgage company as well, and we look at mortgage applications. Are they up or are they down? Well, here's what's happening in real time. This is what you guys need to know. Mortgage interest rates are rising up. Now, it's nothing dramatic. It's nothing to get excited over. But the reality is mortgage interest rates are headed up. Now, at the same time, and this is what CNBC just reported on, which I totally agree, as mortgage rates go up and prices are super high, home affordability is a real concern now. Now not only are buyers having to compete like crazy, now you have some real affordability issues in the marketplace, which will impact us a little bit. And so I want to talk about that here in just a second. So he said, if these trends continue, it would mean that we are not in the midst of runaway home prices speculation or a housing bubble, but as the mortgage rates rise, which they are slowly doing now, we just talked about that, and buyers hit an affordability wall, No Theft said he expects to see annual home prices gain, the gains of home prices cool at the 3% range, which means they're not going to be increasing in double digits anymore, that the home market may cool off a bit, but nowhere, and no one is speaking, or no one even believes from an economist standpoint, outside of the media, that we're heading towards a crash. This is very much so consumer driven and media driven, like everything else that they do. But there's no actual data, and there's no economists that believe we're headed for a crash. There are some signals that suggest the housing market to slow a bit, but nothing dramatic. All right, so they further said that does mean there will be some markets that are not going to have any price growth at all, because some markets are doing better than others. And then there was one part in here that I think was really important. So right here, any hopes of 2021 bringing an influx of homes to the market and lessening pressure on prices appear to be dashed for now, wrote Ben Grabowski, who is the president of the analytics at Black Knight. With higher interest rates and continuing shortage of inventory, it will be important to keep careful eye on both home prices and affordability metrics in the up and coming months, which I will continue to do for you guys and bring you more real-time housing market updates. All right, so here's the last part of the report that I thought was interesting. They said home builders are slowly increasing production, which hopefully will help our inventory issue. And a new government COVID stimulus could add to that. So as the economy opens and more Americans are vaccinated, cities could see a rebirth, taking some of the heart out of all the suburban competition. So will a housing market crash? And this is the word I want you to pay attention to. Unlikely. It will cool, which I agree, no question. But unlike the great housing crash a decade ago, mortgage underwriting is very strict now. So most homeowners can afford the properties and the homes that they're in. So there's the reality, you guys. Is there another housing market crash coming? It doesn't look so. It doesn't look like that. So we will keep our eye on every report, try to keep you guys updated in real time. Make sure you guys subscribe so you can and hit that notification so you don't miss any of these housing market updates. And we'll see you guys in the next update, in the next video very soon. Thank you guys for watching.